Hello everyone, welcome to the EMDR Doctor Podcast. This is episode 55. Firstly, I need to apologise for leaving you high and dry last week. I didn't record a podcast last week. Sometimes life kind of gets in the way, even for podcasters. And of course, now is a very, very busy time for everyone in the late end of the year, and I've had a couple of challenges spring up in my life over the last few weeks, so the podcast had to take a little holiday. But I am back this week with the very juicy topic of money. Now, I promise not to sing the ABBA song for you, which is always a temptation when talking about this topic. And I know that I'm showing my age here because only a Gen Xer would be tempted to sing an ABBA song when talking about money. But I thought I would talk about it as it is a bit of a fave with a few podcasters, a few business podcasters that I follow and listen to. And of course, money is important to all of us. But when was the last time that you spoke honestly about money to friends or family or even your therapist? I don't think I have ever had someone who has come in to work with me on their prejudices or hang-ups or difficulties with money. But we all have them. And sometimes we have a lot of contradictory messages that we've absorbed from different places. And I often end up working with people about money, even if that's not their presenting problem, so to speak. So maybe we don't feel worthy to spend money on ourselves. Maybe our money burns a hole in our pocket. I personally know people who literally cannot hold on to money. And I know other people who fret about spending even $5 on a cup of coffee, although in Melbourne that's probably more like $6 nowadays. But both of these scenarios come from our early training in money, the messages that we received as kids or the experiences that we had as young adults. And if we look beneath the overspending, sometimes people spend up big on credit cards or spend every cent of their paychecks. We might find beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I need to look better than everyone else at work so people will like me, or something similar. And being a trauma therapist, I often work with people on various traumas that they have involving money. Poverty as a child, never having what their school friends had, being hungry with no way of getting food, having to do after-school jobs just to eat, having to hide food from parents so that they can make sure their siblings have some food in their stomachs, going to school without breakfast or lunch every day, even eating other people's thrown away sandwiches. And people who grow up in poverty like that often promise themselves never to be hungry or never to be without money again in their lives. So maybe the issue was seeing dad spend up big on his friends and learning at that moment that spending all your money on friends is the way to be liked, and being generous is more important than being stable or careful. Now, those early lessons in money may not be traumatic. Some of them are traumatic, but they might not be necessarily traumatic, but they certainly may stand in the way of later stability, or they might stop you from taking opportunities. They might be a mixed blessing and provide really good incentives to work hard, but could also be a source of fear or lack. Or maybe money is so scary that there's a lot of avoidance behaviour. We might avoid looking at bills or checking the mortgage, or we might put our head in the sand when we really should be looking carefully at our spending. We might just get another credit card and just put the old maxed out ones in the drawer if we're really scared and avoidant about money, and this can actually really snowball and make our money problems worse and worse and worse. So one belief that seems to get in the way of success for people is this idea of rich equals mean. There's a kind of a dirtiness about being rich, which might be actually an Australian prejudice. dating back to the days of the convicts, and that sort of idealizes the struggling, honest worker, the good Aussie battler, and it kind of demonizes the rich, mean boss. We might find it hard to enjoy our wealth if we grew up with that prejudice, and we might hide our success or hold ourselves back from earning more if we believe that it is more honourable in some way to be poor or struggling. In the therapy world, I actually think that there is a bit of prejudice amongst therapists against earning good money, because we might hold a belief that because we help people, it is somehow dishonourable to make money for doing good work. That if we love our job, we should do it for peanuts. And that can really get in the way for some therapists. Therapists often hold a lot of tricky beliefs about money in that way. And the other side of working with money is that there might be some big T trauma around money. So family violence often involves financial abuse, probably around 99% of the time. That's a pretty scary statistic. It's a big number. And sexually transmitted debt can be one form of financial abuse. So loans for cars or instant money loans or gambling debts in the name of a partner, they often leave women with massive debts and a credit rating that takes years to recover from. And systemic trauma can often impact women especially, and this can take the form of, say, legal family court matters that drag on and on. It's a weapon that often men, as the higher earning partner in the family, men often use that against women because it gives them an advantage in the court system that they can kind of hold out longer. And that's often really, really scary for women, especially if they've taken time off work and they haven't earned money for a few years to look after the family. Or if maybe their husband has prohibited them from working or dissuaded them from working, or worn down their self-esteem so that they don't believe that they're good enough to get a job or that they'll never be able to make money. So these are all forms of abuse that are kind of embroiled in family violence that all stop women believing in themselves and believing that they can make money, and can be part of that big T trauma around money. There can also be other big T traumas around money that are not abuse related, like financial loss through natural disasters or business failures. Those kind of things can take a lot of energy to make your way through, and they can really be big T traumas that can affect people quite significantly. So all of these beliefs and experiences are all great targets for EMDR. So some of these are the money mindset work that people talk about when they talk about the way forward with their businesses. And EMDR is a great way to fast track those changes that can really reduce the discomfort around earning money and shift the beliefs to be more aspirational or more success oriented, so that business behavior can then follow with ease and alignment. Financial trauma does not have to dictate your future. And if we shift the emotional charge that's associated with trauma around money, or we shift those subtle damaging prejudices associated with money, then we can more easily believe that it is safe to have money, I'm a good person, I can do more good with more money, I deserve to have nice things. I deserve to keep nice things. It's safe to hold on to money. It's safe to spend money. I can protect myself around money. I can make my own decisions around money. Money is enjoyable. So all of those positive beliefs that come through the process of doing the EMDR that really get embedded in the EMDR process can all be really, really helpful for people who have difficulties around money. So if any of this resonates with you, maybe have a chat to your EMDR therapist about how to shift your negative beliefs so that you can feel more at ease with money, because you deserve it. Or maybe, as I think it was L'Oreal used to say, you're worth it. So I'd love to hear your experiences of EMDR around money. So please feel free to email me or comment below if you're watching on YouTube. My email address is admin@therapynest.com.au. If you would like to explore this for yourself and work with me on your money beliefs, next year I'm actually going to be starting up my online program again. So watch this space for my next intake. I'll be organising my timelines around that fairly soon. And I'm also about to open up some spots in my week for consultation for EMDR therapists. So if you happen to be an EMDR therapist and you're looking for consultation, shoot me an email and we can figure out a time to suit. All right, I hope that's been helpful. I will talk to you again next week. In the meantime, take good care. Bye for now.